Let's check out Victory's hot-rodded muscle cruiser, the 106 cubic inch Hammer S. At the heart of this beauty is Victory's air and oil-cooled Freedom V-Twin that sports fuel-injected 4-valve per-cylinder heads pepped up with Stage 2 overhead cams. The factory claims the 50-degree V-Twin pumps out 97 ponies while generating some 113 foot-pounds of arm-straightening torque. The Hammer's V delivers the power to a beefy 250 rear tire through a 6-speed tranny and a carbon fiber-infused belt final drive, while dual 300mm discs sporting 4-piston calipers handle the braking department up front, supplemented with another 300mm floating disc out back. Sampling the new Hammer S for us this week is a veteran rider and senior editor of Inside Motorcycles magazine, Mr. Jason Thorpe.
So this is my favorite question. It's always the first question. What was your first impression when you saw this bike?
It's pretty. It's an elegant motorcycle. There's not a lot of extraneous wires or pipes. It's not overly chromed, so you're not going to be spending your entire day cleaning it. Simple lines, they work well, and it's got some elements of performance to it which you don't often get with a lot of cruisers. It's a nice package. It's the type of cruiser that a sport bike guy could look at and go, yeah, that's kind of nice. I like that.
Well, I would agree with that wholeheartedly, but you can't take away the fact that this thing has got a honking big V-twin motor. Narrow angle V-twin, so it's pure American. It's got more than enough power, but then again, just about every motorcycle today does. I mean, it's not gonna win any races with any 4-cylinder sport bikes, but then again, it doesn't have to. It's not designed to. That's not its mandate. It's all the power's down low, which is nice. So you could probably even get away with a 4-speed on this. It's just it's got a nice spread of torque. It's a nice bike. It's a nice motor. For what it is, for the size of it, and for the fact that it is a narrow angle V-twin, it has a decent amount of over rev. Yeah, it's a well put together package. It also came with the aftermarket Victory pipes, and we've been listening to you roar up the street all day. It sounds pretty good. It does sound nice. It's not overtly loud, a little bit louder than I would personally choose. Because loud pipes don't generally give you that much more performance. It's sort of a peacock type of thing, really. Yeah, it does sound nice. I will say that. There's no way you can say it doesn't, but it is just a touch loud for my tastes. Right. Those are pretty impressive looking brakes up there. Did they give you the feel? Yeah, did they go with the look? I think those are 4-pot brakes up front, dual discs, which is nice. Inverted forks. The suspension's quite compliant. I think they've, as with most cruisers, they've had to, there's not a huge amount of travel at the rear, which means that big potholes you feel a bit. Yeah. And again, to keep the seat low, there's not a huge amount of padding there, but because it is nicely dished, it's reasonably comfortable. Kudos though to Victory for going their own way. I mean, there's some real interesting, stylistically, there's some real interesting pieces in here, and cosmetic pieces. What do you think of the overall, fit and finish? It's elegant. I think you pointed out earlier there are a few unfinished points to it. These large nuts sitting, which are probably the cam chain adjusters. Yeah, I'm not keen on this cable here for the clutch. Yeah, there's a few, but I think that you notice the few clunks, the few sort of slight misses because it's such a clean design. Mm-hmm. There's so few things. If you look at this bike, there's nothing sticking out. There's very few cables, very few pipes. Yeah. It's a very clean design. It's well laid out. Aluminum rear swing arm. It's well done. Right. So, what gets the thumbs up? What gets the thumbs down? Anything disappoint you? You know what? Surprisingly, I would have thought before I actually got on this and rode it, I would have thought, it's a compromise. It's a cruiser. The performance probably isn't going to be up to snuff, but surprisingly it is. It works really, really well as a cohesive unit. Again, there's a few design elements that aren't that they could have done a little bit better, but they just show up because the package itself is so nice. Well, Jason, it looked like you were having a bit of fun out there today. Thanks for sharing your impressions. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Good job.